Hello, my friends. Hello, my friends. This is Miss T. Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to take the time out to talk to you about predestination. Um, as a Jehovah's Witness growing up in that religion, um, we never believed in being predestined to do anything. It's like when you became a Jehovah's Witness, it was more like God is offering you the promise of a paradise earth where you can live forever, blah blah blah. It's up to you to accept that offer, you know. But when I think about predestination, I think that when you're born, you have a reason to be here. For some reason, you were put on this earth, and you really don't know what that is until you actually grow and develop as a person. And that can be decide your career path, your educational skills, whether it's experience with people as far as having a family, working with people in some sort of way. You really don't know what your destiny is until after you've built up some experience and come to know yourself, where you can say, I actually like this. I believe I can help others with this. So I believe that we create our own destiny. Sometimes we're born and we don't, you have to be instilled the knowledge. If you're not instilled knowledge on certain things, you're not really knowing what your destiny is. You really have to have some type of skill set. You have to allow yourself to grow mentally, which means that you have to learn, be willing to learn. And then after you learn, you have to apply the things that you learn in order to see what your skill set is and whether or not you like it, you know, for a better way of saying it. But I've always been the type of person where, let's just say, okay, I grew up in a religion where it was kind of stifling, stagnated you or me in a sense where I only knew I can do so much. I can do this, but I can't do that. You know, I wasn't encouraged to go to college and further my education. I was encouraged to serve Jehovah. So I can only go so far. When I made up my mind that the religion wasn't working for me, then I knew that I had to try something different, you know. I had to try something different because I wasn't being fulfilled like I thought I should be. So I had to try something new, which is scary because when you're trying something new, you don't know what the expectations are. It's like being in a religion where there's structure and this is the plan. You knew what the expectations of you were. But then when you decide to leave what you're comfortable with and you start doing your own thing, it's like, well, what am I going to do out here? My first thing was, well, I know I want to be a hairstylist. I've always wanted to do hair. Me working at this drugstore, department store, and doing these little jobs are really not satisfying or getting me the fulfillment that I want in life or getting me where I want to be in life. So therefore, I knew I had to go to cosmetology school to get licensed. I had to, find a job in a salon, build up my clientele. This was my goal. This is what I wanted to do. And I've done that for so many years, and it was fulfilling to me because it didn't feel like a job. So I had to take a step forward, apply for cosmetology school, make that time to get to the school to learn what I needed to learn in order to go to the state board and to get my license, and then find a job working what I wanted to do. So I had to take those steps to get to that point. After so many years of doing cosmetology, it's like, hey, I noticed that there was a need because a lot of the new people who were coming out of cosmetology school did not have the confidence or the skills that they really needed in the salon to know how to service clients. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get my instructor's license and I'm going to start teaching, you know. So I got my instructor's license. I got a job teaching. And the first place I started working, it wasn't really, how can I say, very well received. It's like the students were there particularly for financial reasons. This particular school, they can apply for a grant, and whatever the school doesn't need, they got the money. So I've had students tell me, hey, I'm just here for the money. I'm just here for the money. Okay, so I had to get past that. What I decided to do is I'm going to share my passion with them. They can take it or they can leave it, but I was so eager to teach. That's what I did, you know, and I worked at several other schools, and I'm just going to prepare my students the best way that I can. So when they get out there and they get on the floor, even when they're in school, when they get out on the floor where they have to do their practicals, they'll know how to drape a client. They'll know how to drape, I'm going to say drape and protect the client. They'll know how to talk and communicate with the client to determine what the client's needs were. They will have the confidence of being, or I'm going to say in school, as acting as if they're licensed cosmetologists. They would know how to treat people. They would know how to talk to people and be comfortable with their skill set to deliver what the client wants or service them how they want. So after a while, I'm like, wow, this is like what I was meant to do. I was meant to be a teacher. You know, I was meant to teach this because I enjoyed sharing my knowledge. And from that point, I was a speaker at this event. I went through a stroke and I shared some of my stroke experiences with the people at the event. You know, I was up there as a speaker. Never thought I would speak in front of people because I've always been laid back, shy, and I'm still like that to this day. Like, I don't really put myself out there to get to know people. You want to know me, you're going to have to come to me. You're going to have to ask me questions if you want to get to know me, because I don't waste my time chasing people. So I went, I shared my knowledge on that, and afterwards, I was pretty well received by people. Hey, thank you for sharing that with me, especially people my age and younger, because I had a stroke at 47, and it was like a surprise to me because in my mind, I don't feel like I'm an old person. And to me, old people get strokes. That's just how I feel. You know, old people get strokes, they get the arthritis, and they get all these other stuff. But hey, I'm old people now. I'm getting up there. You know, so I'm going to have to take care of my health. So to avoid these things, so I've lost, like, as of to date, I've lost 60 pounds. And I'm still working on losing my weight. But being that I shared my information and I got feedback from people, it's like, wow, I really enjoy doing this, you know. And I tried to get into jobs where, like, I got hired at a job full time with benefits because I had to give up the cosmetology thing because I was an independent contractor. And I said, you know, I'm going to get into having a career where I can plan for my retirement, you know. As a cosmetologist, my mindset then was I'm going to do hair until the day I die because this is what I love. But I had to be realistic. After my stroke, I couldn't stand as long. You know, I couldn't, I didn't want to hear people's problems anymore. Like, I had my own issues. Look, just sit here and be quiet and let me do your hair. You know, that's all I wanted to do. I didn't mind teaching. I'm going to share my knowledge, but I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to force you to do anything you don't want to do. So during my cosmetology career, I had a client that I met, and she was like, I'm going to take some extra classes. This is like, I'm going to say the early 2000s. I'm going to take some extra classes, so I'm going to go to the community college. And I was like, yeah, I always thought about doing that, you know. taking some business class, and she was like, well, let's go up there together. And sure enough, me and her went up there together. I signed up for 2 classes because of her, doing that on my own. I was like working, getting tired. I don't want to go anywhere else but go home. But she was like, no, we're going to go up there. We're going to apply for some classes. So while she was applying for hers, I was applying for mine. And the 2 things I wanted to do was English and psychology to get started. I didn't really know what I wanted to major in, but I ended up getting a degree in business. So business administration. So I got my associate's degree, which came in handy when I was looking for another job, and they required at least an associate's degree. So when I started working this job, I'm working with children. So even though I'm not a certified teacher, I'm a teacher's assistant, and I can still teach students. It's just on a different level. I went from adults to preschoolers, so, and I found that I really enjoyed teaching. I really enjoyed being a cosmetologist, but you have to plan your life and what you want it to be. You have to create your own destiny. I can easily say, yes, I was put here to be a teacher. I was put here to share my experience, to help those who don't know, I've always been like a good listener, a good friend, a good listener. So I would always offer advice when needed. But one of my study conductors and client, and they were both older, and at different times they told me, when people talk to you, just listen, because 9 times out of 10 they don't want your advice. They just need someone that will listen. So I've always been a great listener. I've always learned a lot from people who had stories to share. And then what did I do? I started teaching, or I started applying the knowledge that I know, because from other people's experiences, I didn't have to have the same experiences, but I can share the information of somebody else's experience in order to help someone. So at the end of the day, I just want to say that, we create our own destiny in life, what we want to do, what path we want to take. That is our choice. I only know 2 things I wanted to be: a cosmetologist, and I wanted to teach, and I feel like that's my destiny. And I'm able to share my experiences with people. Maybe that's what I'm here for and what I'm destined to do, but that's what I enjoy. But I never would have known that if I didn't take the steps that I needed to take in order to learn, apply what I've learned, listen to people, share experiences. I even listen to people and I didn't even know, oh, I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want that experience. So I wouldn't even do it. But they gave me knowledge. So at the end of the day, you're never going to know who you are or what you're going to be destined to do here on this earth until you start making some moves. Faith without works is dead. People say, hey, wait on the Lord, this and that. Faith without works is dead. You can have all the faith that you want to, but if you don't put in the work to get where you want to be, you'll never see any results. Because while you're waiting on God to make changes for you, God's waiting on you to make changes for yourself. Faith without works is dead. You have to make the effort in order for God to make the move. Because at the end of the day, it's you that want change. God already knows who He is. It's up to you. So have a good day, friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care and see you next time.